In this video we share Medjugorje visionary Marija's interview with Father Livio. The conversation between Father Livio Fanzaga, director of Italian Radio Marija, and Medjugorje visionary Marija Pavlović Lunetti, who received a message from Our Lady of Humanity on Friday, was broadcast on Mary TV and broadcast on Radio Marija. The conversation reveals some details, for example that Our Lady was extremely serious during the last visit, but also that the word crossroads in the message can mean crossroads of life or death of mankind. This is the message Our Lady sent to humanity through Mary on Friday. Dear children, I hear your cries and prayers for peace. Satan has been fighting for years. That is why God sent me among you to lead you on the path of holiness, because humanity is at a crossroads. I invite you to return to God and God's commandments, to be well on earth and to come out of this crisis you have entered into because you are not listening to God who loves you and wants to save you and lead you to a new life. Thank you for having responded to my call. The lady was serious. Marija explains to Father Livio, Our Lady was serious and determined. She did not have a happy expression on her face, but in my heart I felt her calling us. In her last message she asked us to pray with her. Today she listens to our cries and prayers for peace. To me, this absurd war in which brothers like Cain and Abel kill themselves like this, even there among Christians themselves, all this saddens my heart. Our Lady said that Satan has been fighting for years for war. He fights in us too and becomes like that evil brother who does not want to embrace the commandments and God's call. I hope that more people who listen to and live the commandments will become Our Lady's extended arms. We also see how the humble servant of God says she has been given permission to be among us. We see that in today's message. Father Livio, Marija, there is something new compared to all these years, and that is that those who are responsible are threatening nuclear weapons. The Pope spoke about it in his consecration. Our Lady said in her messages that Satan wants to destroy our lives and the planet we live on, so it seems to me that in this expression Our Lady means that humanity is at the crossroads of life and death. Visionary Marija, we are at a point of no return, as she says, if we do not accept prayer. All these years we have experienced the power of prayer. I think we need to increase our cry to Our Lady even more for this war to end. He has been telling us for years that Satan is fighting for war. We know that there have been manufacturers of war weapons for years who send them under the guise of humanitarian aid. I remember once going to Lebanon, and while we were driving, they showed me a valley whose name I do not remember, and in the Bible it is indicated as a valley where milk and honey flow. Today it is the valley of death. During the war between Lebanon and Israel, they never signed a peace treaty, and when Israel wanted to make a truce, they spread a flood of weapons, cluster bombs produced in Italy, and today, after 30 years, they are wreaking havoc. Children, believing they are catching butterflies, instead run after those handkerchiefs and then fall victim to explosions that mutilate them, leaving them without legs, arms and fingers. Father Livio, Marija, do you think there is a danger of a nuclear world war? Is this danger real, or is it just a devilish way of intimidation? Marija, I don't want to go into secrets, but return to God and His commandments. Father Livio, in one of her messages from a few months ago, Our Lady said that Satan wants to fill our hearts with fear for the future, but the future belongs to God. So one of Satan's tactics is to scare us when instead we need to know that Our Lady's presence and our response to her call allow us to live well on earth. Marija, that is why Our Lady tells us, I invite you to return to God and His commandments that it may be good on earth, because we are here on earth, but our destination is heaven. We have the example of Lazarus, who was a friend of Jesus. When his sisters Martha and Mary entered the tomb, they said, "It stinks." He was already decomposing. But Jesus came in and raised him up. Then Lazarus died again. He lived a few more years, but then he died. And so, we must also think that our life here on earth is beautiful. Let us be guided by God, His commandments. We live holiness. Let us try to convey by our example and our love our faith, which is a duty throughout life. As Our Lady is a reflection of God. We fall in love with her because God is love, and for that reason I believe that we too must become a reflection of God and that love that Our Lady shares with us. We know that our goal is heaven, but at the same time let us keep in mind that our commitment and work must not be materialism and consumerism, I, me, my. Our Lady says let us put God in the place of I, and we will find harmony, and when we come to peace, then our hearts will be filled with joy. People arrive in Medjugorje with these big cars, showing their wealth, but there is no joy in them. The seventh secret has changed. Father Livio, Marija, according to you, we must listen to these words, return to God and the commandments. Our Lady says that this is addressed to everyone, especially to us Christians and us Catholics. Do you see this return to God in these 40 years? Marija, I am sure, Father Livio, because as Our Lady said through Mariana, pray and fast, the seventh secret has been softened and is no longer considered a punishment. It has changed. And now, if God finds our hearts open, even though there are few of us, He will use us. We are called to be the light, to be the leaven, to be witnesses, and we cry out. Thank you for supporting my channel. May God bless you and keep you. Our Lady, Queen of Peace, pray for us.